my current portfolio. I'm going to go over my open positions as well as any planned positions to open within 1 or 2 months. So disclaimer, anything I say is not really investment advice, it's just my personal journey on making a 10% return. So I opened my account in September of 2016, and I had watched the stock market a few months prior, but I wasn't ready to open an account yet, and the stock market was really weird just because of Brexit, and I was a little scared to get into it then. And so right when I started school, I decided to open the account. And when I opened the account, I had the goal to make a 10% return after 1 year. And, maybe that's modest. I don't think it was. I think it's like a really high rate of return, especially for the stock market. And as of today, April 27th, I have an 8.17% return. So it's been 7 months since then. And I've had a really good ride. I think most of it was luck. I did my research though, and so I do take pride in that. But the majority of this percentage was from my first trade, which was on SKECHERS. And I did everything I could to milk that trade and get the most profit out of that. So I have a lot of pride with that trade. I did get lucky, but I also took my time. And it was around 3 months that I made the 7% profit. And since then, I've also made some consistently positive trades. Most recently, my Netflix trade has been really positive, and it's net me 1% more closer to my total 10%. So I'm going to be showing my journey trading, and hopefully I'll reach a 10% return by September 2017. And when September comes rolling around, I'm going to write a whole report on it, detailing each of my trades, and you can check that out because I'll have a video on it. But let's get into my current portfolio. So right now, my portfolio is mostly options, and I'm liking options right now because I don't want any of the responsibility of holding too much equity. Just because, one, I'm inexperienced in the sense of how long I've been doing this, and also I don't want to hold equity because it's subject to the overall market, which I don't fully understand yet, and I don't have a full grasp as much as I want to. But I'm making my way there. So my own way to trade is through value. And I've also found success trading value right around the time of earnings. So either making a position the day before earnings, the trading day before earnings, or the trading day after earnings. And I've made 3 positive trades on earnings so far. So I've had a good track record with that. And I'm going to be learning more about it, and hopefully I can find a solid strategy that will be more aligned with all my personal values with investing. So also leave a comment at the end of this video with your own successes with the different strategies that you might have had. Now I'm going to go over each of my trades that I have open right now, and the first one is Netflix. Netflix has been doing extremely well for me. I'm going to be going over when I entered the position and why, the current reason it has grown in value since I entered the position, and also when I plan to exit it. So let's start with that. I entered Netflix the day of their earnings. Their earnings were going to be reported post-market, so I had the day to prepare how I wanted to get involved in buying Netflix. Now, I would have made an options position, but I don't like being liable for 100 shares at a time just because my account value is only 10,000 and 100 shares of Netflix is around 15,000. So I said I was going to open a position because I had this idea that the basis of their membership numbers eventually hitting 100 million, which happened the weekend after, and also the inflection point that it had an international market profit. And I talked about this in my video that I did on Netflix because they had some really good news that was coming really close to them. And so I wanted to be prepared for that. One of the things I also talked about is that their potential in China and their international markets, which I'm going to talk about. But let's get started with how I entered the trade. So if the stock rallied during the day, it would be better to buy in the morning before it rallied to a higher price. So this is why I bought 10 shares at $145.98. And if it did rally, which it did, I would decide if I wanted to buy more. And I did want to buy more just because I had a lot of confidence in Netflix. And so this is where I bought an additional 5 shares 15 minutes before the market closed. And this was at $147. So my cost basis was at 15 shares at $146.34. Now, earnings that were reported actually missed what they estimated to be. So the total membership missed, and it was supposed to be a little higher, but it was lower than expected. And so this caused Netflix's stock to drop below 140, which worried me at the start. And eventually rebounded back to around the 140s. But still, because they missed on membership, it caused the stock price to drop a lot. So I'll know that in the future. They also beat on profits. And so even though they beat on profits, the stock still dropped. So with this information, I'm going to be looking at what their guidance is for the future and if they will actually hit it. Currently, the shares of Netflix have risen above 6%. So this was 8 days after I opened my position. And they started to rise, and they're still rising, because of the deal they struck with the Chinese streaming platform IQIYI. And it's one of the largest streaming platforms in the country. And this was huge for Netflix. This was Netflix's entrance into a huge market, which was China. I did mention it in my video that they had the potential to go in China and how that good news would spike the stock price, which is exactly what it did. But I got lucky having it come so quick because I didn't expect it to come so quick. So this trade was, I think, luck, but I did take into account that this could happen. Now, I plan to exit Netflix either before the quarter 2 report comes out, and this is because there's really lower guidance for quarter 2. However, I will hold it past quarter 2 if they have really good feedback from the shows they post on Netflix this quarter. So they're bringing out seasons of House of Cards, which is one of their most popular shows. And so if they have really good feedback on these shows, like exceptional, and it's like top news stories, then I think I'll hold it for another quarter. One of the decisions I'll make to exit is if I earn 20% or more profit on owning these shares. So if I make $200, I will exit the trade, and I'll take that $200 because my goal is to earn 2% on my entire account value for Netflix. And I really advise you to have a goal every time you set out to make a trade, and have a percentage in mind that you want to make. And it's helped me out when I needed a time to find when I should exit. Okay, on to the second, which is Snapchat. Snapchat has been really lackluster, but it's a longer term position, and I'm going to start seeing profits within several months. And this is if it goes in my direction. Now, I purchased out of the money call options, and I've also sold out of the money put options. So why I did this is because when I sell puts, I gain money. I gain a premium. And with that premium money I took, and I put it and I bought call options. So either way, I'm going to make money. The only money I wouldn't make is if the contract for my calls expired worthless, I lose a little money. But even so, I'd still make money on the premium that I sold the put with. So now I entered the position for a few reasons, and I'm going to go over this. So it recently IPO'd. So no one really knows where it could go from here. And so it can have very high volatility, which is very good for my options positions because I want it to go either really down or really up. Second, they have 150 million active users. So users on social media platforms are what makes social media platforms extremely valuable and extremely rare. It's very difficult to grow users to these levels. And this is what affected my evaluation of Snapchat. I don't have much experience, determining how much a company is really worth, but I see it as a stock worth at least $30 just on the basis of the amount of the users they have and also the amount of users they grow by. In 2016, they grew by 50%. So they grew from 100 million active users to 150 million active users in only 1 year. I'm also waiting to see their first quarter report. And this is where I'm going to assume there's going to be a great fluctuation in the stock price. And this is why I chose to open a position in options, because with my put options, if Snapchat drops below $15, well, I'll be liable to purchase 100 shares. And I'm really willing to own a social media company, even if they drop that low, just because they have 150 million active users. And for that price, I think getting the stock at is exceptional because Snapchat does have a lot of advertising potential, and we haven't seen that yet. So I'm just making a bet, and hopefully I'll get lucky with that. I mean, I have bet on the basis of this information, but we're going to see how I handle my trade once the quarter one report comes out. Now let's talk about how it's doing right now. Right now, my put position has net me positive credit. This is because Snapchat has rose in price as of April 27th. Because Snapchat rose in price, and also because time decay on options erodes the price of the premium, and so if I wanted to, I could purchase the premium and I would earn $30. Now, my call options on Snapchat, they have also risen in value, but they're still lower than what I purchased them at. So right now, I'm at a loss with their call options, but these are longer term positions. They're for January. We're going to see in a few months how I'm going to handle this trade, and we'll see how Snapchat goes. I plan to exit this position when I at least net 85% of the premium I took in for the put, and I also plan to exit the call position by December if Snapchat is not close to the strike price, and this is just because I'll want to take in some of that premium back. I won't lose as much because I did spend $5 on the fee alone. But the call option will be mostly decayed by then if Snapchat is not close to the strike price. Now onto my most recent position, which is in the VIX, the volatility index. And this is more speculation. It's kind of more of a bet. It isn't on a strong basis, and it isn't a value investment. It's a volatility investment. So I win when the stock market is volatile. I purchased 2 May 24th calls at a strike price of $14 on the VIX. And this was on the basis of the volatility around Trump's tax return, the geopolitical conflict we've been really having lately, as well as just the rising tensions in general, with the administration and with North Korea and also with China. This past month also, we've seen the VIX rise and fall between around $11 and $16. So I chose a $14 strike price because it's around the middle of that. And I'm going to be seeing profit once the VIX reaches $15. Okay, so currently the VIX dropped below $11 after the French election this weekend, April 23rd, tension had been resolved. And my call options dropped in value because the VIX price is farther from the strike, so they dropped in value. And I plan to exit the trade on expiration. So expiration is May 24th, and we'll see if the VIX spikes to a price next to the strike price. So those are my 3 positions I have open. I might plan to open a position on Apple depending on how my analysis goes for them, because I'm putting out an analysis video on Sunday on Apple because their earnings come out next week. So we'll see how that goes. I'm also looking at Amazon lately because they do have a really promising future, especially with the market they're going into and the success of their cloud network. I'm going to go over quickly each of my positions, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So Netflix, my most profitable position, I purchased them at a really high price, and it was on the basis of the good news surrounding 100 million subscribers, the potential in international markets, which are China, and also the profit that they start turning in international markets. My Snapchat position is lackluster, but it's a longer term position, which is when I'll see profit, which is going to be in a few months. The VIX positions are a small bet around the volatility that has been going on in the market. Those are my 3 positions. I hope you liked the video. Make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe, because I post really early in the morning, and this is when my videos have the best value to them, because usually I'll comment on the stock market that day. So if you watch them right away, then you might be getting some valuable information from me. And also look out for the video I'm going to have on Sunday, which is going to be on Apple. So make sure to check that out.